This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Ira, what's up with Fangio's personal life? Come on, cough it up. Let's go.
You know what? If mom's in Florida, girlfriend's a surgeon, there's surgeons in Florida, that can all be made to work. So,
well, what a selfish bastard Omar is, right? Just have the woman unearth her career, move over with the defensive coordinator. Let's go. Woman has to make move for man. What a caveman approach by Omar.
You know
right?
what? I was actually listening to you.
Say.
I was listening to you and Omar there. And the one thing I will say with so much of this, when it comes to these kind of jobs, even I talked to my wife about this, there's only 32 coordinator jobs in that league in the world. There are surgeons everywhere. So a lot of us, when we're even in this job, honestly, Big O, is NBA beat writers. There's only about 60 NBA team beat writers. There's X amount of jobs. But there are a lot of other jobs in a lot of other places. So sometimes you move to where the job is available and make everything else work. So I think all things.
I just don't know what her. I don't know what her position is. Like she might be like a chief surgeon. She might have, she might have stock in the company. She might be part of the board. I don't know, dude. I don't know how high up she is. You know what I'm saying?
And I would say two things to that.
It's not that easy to ask somebody to unearth their career that they've established, especially a surgeon.
The NFL still a short season. It's a once-a-week season. There are airplanes. Things can be made to work. You know what? It's interesting. Guys like you and I who are long-term married guys or whatever, we're just settled in and that's it. But there's a whole different world out there, Big O. One you and I do not know and hopefully will not have to know. But if I need to go for girlfriend advice one day, I will turn to Omar. So at least I know that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, God. Man, I didn't, after I took that San Francisco job and then I came back, I told my wife, that's it. I'm not doing this stuff again because it's not fair to you. And then when we had my daughter, I was like, because I went from one school to another that didn't connect to each other. Mm-hmm. The same kids, I was seeing a new set of kids when I would move because of moving or divorce or whatever. And it was a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? I'm a sociable person, so it didn't matter. I was able to get by. But when I moved to the neighborhood I'm at now, I told my wife, I'm stuck here because I'm not doing what they did to me to my daughter. So my daughter went to the same elementary and junior high and high school, or what's it called now? Not junior high, whatever the hell it's called. But middle school and all that. Yeah,
and I have followed you across the dial ever since, from the low 500s to the 10s up in the AM dial to the internet with soccer teams to over here. So you found a way. God bless you.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, man. I mean, I'm not unearthing my family anymore. I'm not doing that. So, all right. By the way, I thought Jimmy was sick, but he was like hanging out with the kid, spreading his sickness all over him after that.
You know what?
Wow, he looked so healthy after. I mean,
Jimmy
that 24-hour flu, man.
Of those physical scares. I mean, unfortunately, as you know, Big O, sometimes you get a scare and it becomes something major. Sometimes you get a scare, you go to the doctor, and you're cleared right away. That's what happened. I can tell you this. Jimmy Butler was at the arena planning to play on Tuesday's game. Something came over him. And literally, he had to be helped to the parking lot. He ran into Pat Riley there. He was taken care of. He had a moment. We've all had moments where we think maybe we're having a heart attack or something like that, and something just feels wrong. That's what happened.
Are you sure it was that, or was he saw the inactive list for the Celtics and said, "Oh, wow, they don't need me today." That's it. And so he just, had his moment.
Always a skeptic, Big O. You know what? Let's take a look at next week when the Heat have a back-to-back, Houston at home and at Orlando. When he skips one of those two games, we'll know it's load management and it's planned. And look, I spoke to Kurt Healy.
He's been doing it all year. This is nothing new. I mean, come on.
But this was a game.
I just don't want the bullshit. I just say it is what it is.
But it wasn't.
I was going to take a night off and, oh my God.
But I'm a reporter, and I know in this case it wasn't. I know it wasn't. I also respect people's medical histories and privacy here. If it was, I will tell Heat Nation. I will answer the Ask Ira questions. I will tell you on the Acura Pembroke Pines report. I will tell you on redrecover.com inside the paint. You have my word. So, you know what? I'm going to put it this way, Big O. I will write Jimmy a doctor's note on this one. This was a player having a moment. It was.
All right. At least they gave the kid the moment after that. So, that was
But
good.
I will tell anyone this. The next time before you travel 4,000 miles to a sporting event, understand the caveat emptorness of the way it is
Oh, it
in
is now.
sports these days.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
buyer beware. You just never know. There's nothing on your ticket that says we guarantee that Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero will play. That's not how sports are anymore. When it's the Super Bowl, when it's the college football championship game, you know you're going to see the best of the best. Regular seasons in every sport, even sometimes in the NFL, can just be BS. Late season NFL games when you're playing for draft picks, when you already have your playoff position locked up, like the Giants against Philadelphia last week of the season. There's no guarantees anymore. Pro sports regular seasons are BS. They are. Because in America, unlike in soccer, we have playoffs. And that's all that matters. In the Premier League, every game matters. You get to international tournaments. You can get relegated. There's extra money provided for you. We are a playoff society. Nothing that happens during the regular season matters at all. It's only about the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I know that's it. And let me ask you something, because this is the part I find, interesting, depressing, and, a couple of other adjectives I can probably find for this. Now that this is obviously a problem, this is not a Heat problem. This is an NBA problem that's
Sports
going
problem,
on.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, no, mostly NBA. I mean, the NFL doesn't have load management. That's, hockey doesn't have load management overall. Those guys come back, they get all screwed up and they come back. This is mostly an NBA problem, a big NBA problem. So what are they saying? You've got to be talking to them, because I can already tell you, I know certain people that are not renewing their season tickets. I know certain people that they have a 3-year renewal.
Right.
They're now turning down the 3-year renewal, and they're kind of putting the Heat on double secret probation by taking a 1-year renewal. And they're telling them, hey, you guys aren't giving us a product every night. There's guys that are off constantly, and we're not enjoying, we're not getting our money's worth, whether it's you guys or the opponent, like the other night with the Celtics resting half their team. And it just, it's obviously the teams don't care what the commissioner says. They don't care that it's a TNT game or any of that. So this is a major problem that's only going to get worse, because we've always kind of talked about that the regular season doesn't mean much in the NBA.
Right.
Well, now you are like showing that it means nothing. Now your actions are speaking a lot louder. So I'm wondering, is there any talk behind the scenes league-wide that this is a festering problem that could become a disease for them ticket-wise?
I got to be careful how I phrase this, but I don't think the league office, the top people, give a rat's ass about tickets, or no offense, Big O, or about your friend for this reason.
TV deal.
The television deals have never been larger, have never been worth more, and the new one is supposed to be exponential. Streaming rights, something that didn't exist when you were selling tickets and only had tickets and marketing, are exploding all over the place. The digital front and all of that.
International.
So I refer to NBA arenas as sound stages. You can have fans if you want. You can play the bubble and not have fans if you want. But as long as there's a television camera, as long as there's an internet connection, that's where sports are right now. So if you're asking me, Ira, what about the fans? I would say the fans are nothing more than third-class citizens behind television cameras, behind streaming rights, and then fans. Hey, the NFL, that's what it's all about. Jacksonville, God bless them, had a great season this year. You've been to that place, you've seen it. It is empty for decades with NFL fans. But the franchise is still worth $1 billion because it's an NFL property with television rights, with streaming rights, with international marketing. So that's where it is. So you know what? The fan who was disappointed they didn't see Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and Al Horford and Jimmy Butler on Tuesday, it's kind of sad. But you know what? Turner paid the exact same price for that game as if everyone was playing. So the NFL still got its money. That's where we are right now. The fan has become a third-class citizen because the NBA is not about winning. The NBA is not about entertainment. The NBA is a business. It's business. It's about making money. That's what they do. Please always keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, that makes all the sense in the world. I mean, that's kind of what it is right now, because it's what, and again, the TV money is what drives every sport except maybe hockey. I think hockey's still one of those.
Hockey needs the attendance. They don't have great TV deals, and I agree with that. And what drives even other sports like college football and college basketball are the atmospheres. That if you didn't have the bands and the fans, you wouldn't have that built-in atmosphere. I was even watching FAU play last night in their 20-game winning streak, and to see the fans there and to see the excitement. College has something that no one else in America can replicate because they have their built-in fandom. So that's important there also on the college level. I mean, look at the USFL. I don't know if you watched the USFL at all last season. They held it in Birmingham the entire season, even with the other teams. The stands were empty, but they still paid for TV rights. FS1 still carried the game. Fox had games. So it just shows you it's all a sound stage. You know, we're all Jim Carrey there, having everyone watch The Truman Show. That's where we are right now.
Wow. Do they plan on doing anything on the ticket side for things like that?
They have tried. But again, you know, if the league's ultimate goal is to make money, which I think you and I both agree with, teams' ultimate goals are to win and get victories. And if it means holding out a Butler or a Jaylen Brown or another player to get you to a more important place later in the season, they're going to do that. And if Adam Silver thinks an in-season tournament, it's just not the FA Cup. It's not going to change anything. Big O, when you walk into Miami-Dade Arena and you see the Heat's won the first in-season tournament, it's going to be as meaningful to you as that Michael Jordan banner and that Dan Marino jersey in the stands. It means nothing. Just like the Heat have banners for divisional championships and for conference championships. So what? There's only 3 banners at Miami-Dade Arena that are illuminated the entire time. That's the 3 championship banners. So again, fans come in third. They come in second. To be in the league, it's money. For the teams, it's about winning.
All right. One more thing tonight. Any injuries? What are we expecting tonight against the Magic? Because I almost I don't like betting against my local team, but I have a problem giving the Magic 7.5 points. I got to be honest.
Yeah, it's a clean sheet for the Heat. I think it's an important game to complete a 3-0 homestand. You know, they're in a pretty good place right now. Not only are they 6th in the East, which means no play-in, they're only 2 behind Cleveland. And they play Cleveland next Wednesday in Cleveland. I'll be doing our shows from out there in Cleveland. And so they have a chance to make a move. Big O, you can't screw up Orlando at home and at Charlotte on Sunday. You have these 2 good games in front of you, because after that, it's Cleveland, it's at New York, it's at Milwaukee. This team can't spit away games like it did early in the season to Detroit and to some lesser teams. So I think this is must win for the Heat. The Magic have a lot of nice young players. But the Heat, when they scheme defensively against those players, find a way. There are no Heat players of consequence listed anything worse than probable. You're going to be without Jovic, without Yurtseven, without Duncan Robinson. Everyone else should be good to go, at least as of now, until someone has a panic attack. I don't know.
All right. One more thing. Trae Young. Now there are rumors out there. Atlanta cleaning house. Maybe John Collins. There's a Trae Young Lakers story out there. What is happening in Atlanta? What kind of house cleaning is going to happen? And any shot Miami can make a move for John Collins?
Couple of things. Travis Schlenk was in charge of the Hawks front office, doing a nice job, and then the owner decided he was going to bring in his son. We see this all the time in sports. His son wants his own people. He brings in Landry Fields from Toronto. They change their front office. They have that going on. The Trae Young situation, to me, reminds me of Allen Iverson in Philadelphia. When you get a singular star who dominates the ball, you have to get 4 co-conspirators who just want an offensive rebound, don't want the ball. Philly, when they went to the finals with Allen Iverson, had players like George Lynch and Eric Snow and Dikembe Mutombo, and had players, Tyrone Hill, who were willing to do the dirty work. Toronto's guys want the ball. John Collins wants the ball. DeJounte Murray wants the ball. Trae Young's a very hard player to play with. I think he's too singular in the way he dominates the dribble. So I think there are guys who want out of there. I think John Collins is available. I don't think John Collins is the player he once was. Maybe because he's stuck in a bad situation. Maybe because he's playing with Trae Young. But yeah, I could see Atlanta making some major moves. They give up 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. They're going to have to make a move. John Collins at the right price for the Heat, I have no issue with. If that price is as simple as Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, and a first-round pick, certainly consider it. But I got to tell you this, Big O, and you're going to be shaking your head. There are some people who think for the Heat's needs that Caleb Martin is the better fit than John Collins because he doesn't need the ball, because he does defend. So again, I think you could make a deal like that if Atlanta will take it. But if you're the Heat, you have to pull back a little. Look, Caleb Martin has done what you've wanted him to do. Is under contract 3 years at $20.4 million. That's a good contract. You're going to have to save money somewhere when you're paying Bam, when you're paying Jimmy, when you're paying Tyler, maybe if you're still paying Kyle. So that's interesting. There are moves to be made by the Heat. The question is what assets they want to give up. But yes, John Collins' name will be out there absolutely until the February 9th NBA trading deadline. I do agree with that.
All right. Is there another name out there that could be realistic for Miami that we are not mentioning here?
Yeah, I think there's like the supporting piece kind of player. We've heard names like a Jared Vanderbilt, who's a hard rebounding, tough guy who can give you a 4 when you need a 4. You don't necessarily have to start him, but when you need to get physical, because here's the problem right now, Big O. The Heat don't have a backup center. God bless Orlando Robinson for what he is. I don't know if I'm trusting him with playoff minutes. We know they've completely moved off Dwayne Dedmon. We don't know when Omar Yurtseven will be back. Most teams would say, fine, we'll just move our power forward to center. Well, you can do that when it was PJ Tucker, but you can't do it right now when it's Caleb Martin. The guy is 6'5", 205 pounds. It's hard to do that. So if the Heat either have to get a backup center or, to me, a rugged power forward who in some lineups can play the 5, Jared Vanderbilt would be that type of player looking in that direction. I think the Heat will make that kind of move. To me, it's like 2 years ago when they realized they needed a little more shooting at the 4 and they got Trevor Ariza. It didn't work out in the playoffs against Milwaukee, but at the time when they traded Myers Leonard and the draft choice, I think we all thought, okay, that's a reasonable move. I think you will see something on that type of scale.
All right, right back there. There's a flag right above my finger. You see it there? It's a Miami Soul flag. Okay. So I ask because the WNBA is having, I guess, some success here. Their revenue is going up. Their ratings have gone up. Their sponsorships have gone up. They're talking about expansion again. Will Miami ever see that? Will it be the Heat organization, or could it be another entity that brings a WNBA team to South Florida? Is that something that could possibly happen?
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. The money leaves South Florida in the summer. South Florida's money and sponsors go up to the Hamptons. They go out to Cape Cod. They go out to Denver and to Aspen. That's what hurts the Marlins also. Everyone tries to leave here in the summer.
Sometimes they go to Greece also, by the way.
Yes. Okay, fine. Or Italy or something. What I'm saying is you get away. The money leaves South Florida. People who can, it's oppressive, get out of here. This is not a good place for summer sports. I know we have a domed baseball stadium. I know during the great seasons they would get $3 million when they first started under Huizenga. But this is just not a summer market. This is a market that goes to sleep. And you know this, Big O. You go through those doldrums in July and you can't wait for Dolphins camp to open. We're different when it comes to summer sports. I do not think this is a good summer sports market. I hope that Inter Miami can make it work with the right players. I do think they can, because
they will make it work because they'll spend money.
At smaller stadium, it's the right size stadium for that time of year also, whether it's the current place or where they're moving to. But I don't think the money is here to support another pro sports team in the off-season summer market here when it's 1,000 freaking degrees.
Yeah, no, that's I just got to ask because I figured that. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
In Sunday Sun Sentinel, I'm going to list every Heat trade asset and what they have to let people know, hey, this is what they have. This is what they could deal. What do you want to put in play? The only players to me off the table are Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero. And even Tyler Hero, just because of the way his contract is written, can't be traded to the offseason. Anyone else could be put in play, but is anyone else enough? So that'll be in your Sunday Sun Sentinel online tomorrow. And I wrote a story I just posted today. The Heat have the worst offense in the NBA by scoring, third worst by offensive rating, but they're selling it in an interesting way now. But they say, hey, the scoring slows down in the playoffs anyway. We're just getting there a little bit faster. So you can read that online and in tomorrow's paper. Hey, I'm trying to sell papers. What can I say?
Hey, we'll do it. and subscribe to the Sun Sentinel and support Ira and all the fantastic writers of the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, have a great weekend. We will talk on Monday.
Catch you Monday from Cleveland on our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Ira Winderman. And by the way, some great lease features going on right now. The 2022 TLX, they've got a 2.9% financing right now. Take advantage. The 2023 Integra, 3.9 financing right now. The 2023 MDX, 3.9 APR right now. The 2023 MDX 10-speed automatic featured special lease, man. $619 per month for 36 months. Go check it out. They've got so many great lease features. 2023 models. They've got some great deals on 2022 models. So take advantage at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.